Good morning, good people. It's Dr. Ashley Gaddy Robbins, and I'm sitting in my car this morning because I wanted to just share in real time kind of a conversation that I had with my children. And so this is not an official Dr. Amma series, but I think that it should be said and shared because it's very real. So as you all know, or some may not, I have 4 children, an 11-year-old, twin 9-year-olds, and a 17-month-old. And we are really into making sure we have conversations around identity and difference and history with our children and being very open. And so if you want to see more of that, check out the Dr. Amma series that I have on my YouTube channel. But this is something that's real, that also kind of pained me in a way to even have the conversation. So we're riding on the way to school and we pass by an establishment, and I pass by there all the time, but I'm just driving, I'm not noticing. And one of my twins says, Amma, they call me Amma, why doesn't that American flag have 50 stars? And immediately my heart stops because I'm like, what did she see? What flag did she see? And where we are, there is a possibility. I mean, we're in the South, so there's a possibility that anyone could see a flag that doesn't have 50 stars, an American flag that doesn't have 50 stars. And so I said, say more. What do you mean? She was like, well, when we passed by, there was a flag waving. But it's not the American flag that I know. It's not the American flag that I see every day in my classroom. And it didn't have 50 stars. And it kind of had this kind of like, they had stars, but it had kind of this X and kind of looked like American flag, but I know that it wasn't because that's not what I see. And instantly I already knew what flag she saw. And so she's just simply asking the question, why isn't there 50 stars? So innocently, right? There's nothing that she understands about what we know to be the Confederate flag. And so in real time, I had to say, throughout history, there have been variations of flags that represent what we know now to be the United States. So in the 1800s, back before any of us were around, there was a division within this country between the North and the South, right? Or what we know to be the Union and the Confederate. And there are many reasons why there was tension between the North and the South. But one of the strong arguments that the South wanted to claim or wanted to proclaim or keep is this idea of the institution of slavery. And we've already had conversations about what that has mean in this country. So I didn't have to go into explaining that. But I did have to let her know that the southern part of this country in that time wanted to keep the institution, the process, the economics of slavery, right? And all of what that meant for the people who were enslaved. And there was a flag that represented the South, that represented what we know to be the Confederate. The Union also had a flag, right? So this idea that flags are a representation of something was happening on both sides. This just was the flag for the South, for the Confederate. And so she was like, well, then why would they have that flag now? It's not the 1800s. Why would they not? And why would everyone not just fly the American flag? And that is when I really felt tears rising up in my eyes. And I had to share with her, because there are some people who still represent very strongly the South, right? What the Confederate stood for or wanted. And that may not always mean the institution of slavery. Some people have, lineage that are tied to soldiers and lineage that is tied to their culture. But it is a representation of the commitment of the institution of slavery. And so there are some people who still fly that flag because they are wanting to represent what the Confederates stood for. And I told her that when us as Black people see that flag, knowing what it represented, it is a pain point. Because seeing that flag as me, your Ama, as a Black woman in the South, seeing that flag makes me go, are you for me? Are you not for me? Do you represent slavery? Do you not? People say, it represents history and heritage, but the history and heritage is tied up in the loss of so many lives, in the manual free labor of so many bodies. That history and that heritage is so much more than just your family lineage. It represents a lot of pain for my people. So a flag like that for me, your Ama, hurts my feelings, is what I told her. And she said, well, I'm going to make sure that when I go to school, I'm going to make sure we have the right American flag. I said, no, you don't have to go fact checking every flag, honey, because she was ready. She was just like, I need to make sure that this flag is not the flag that's in our schools, and this flag is not the flag that I'm seeing. And I said, I can assure you, it is the American 50-star flag. I can assure you that is the flag that's in your classroom. So please do not go up into your teacher and being like, what flag you waving? Because you better not be the Confederate flag. These twins be ready, honey. They are ready, and I love that in them. But it was a very hard conversation to try to explain from a question that was asked so innocently about just why does it not have 50 stars? So these are the real moments. Our children are seeing these representations all of the time in flags and statues and social media posts, in videos, whatever the case may be, in novelty items, antique items. So it's really important that we just stop and tell the truth to our children and process their emotions. I asked them, now in hearing that, how does that make you feel? And she said, it makes me feel sad in a way that this flag, somebody would wave a flag that means that, even if they don't personally believe it today, the flag has meaning. And that kind of makes me sad. And then also, in a way, I want to make sure that I am not around that flag, right? And this idea of wanting to make sure that folks are flying an American flag. So there was this sadness, but there was also this readiness that she had to make sure that that flag is not something that she or people that she knows is connected to, because she wants to be connected around people who feel that her lineage, her people should not only be here, but they should be treated with justice and humility and humanity. So I just wanted to share that in real time, to kind of just talk you through the ways in which I gave verbiage to our children, the way in which I asked for their feedback and their emotion, and also what that meant for me as a mom and as a Black woman in the South, because these are things that our children are facing and seeing every day. So thank you so much for watching. If you took the time to watch and listen to this conversation, I comment, What are some conversations that you're having with your children? Have you had this experience? Have you had to talk to your children about the Confederate flag, right? Whether black, white, Latine, Hispanic, whatever your ethnicity, have you had to have a conversation about the Confederate flag in America with your children? If so, put it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, watch the Dr. Alma series on my channel, and I'll be around for more real-time conversations with my children. Have a good day. Peace.